Yeah. You know what it is. Another episode of that Victory Talk podcast. Episode 111. If you one of them chicks who collect crystals, then that means something to you. You know what it is, man. See, man, Big Brandon Carter. Sorry, a little late today. I know that's uncharacteristic of me. However, for a good reason. I just left the studio. We got a new Thot repellent song, a new anthem that we're gonna debut for you on this episode. Let's get into it. Yeah, you know what it is. It's your man, Big Brandon Carter, back at it with another episode of that Victory Talk podcast. You know what it is, man. This is the only podcast that's 100% dedicated to helping you build your money, your muscle, and your mindset. All three of them. All right. I, of course, am your humble host, the most humble. No one's ever been as humble as me. I'm like a god of humility and modesty, but I never talk about it, man, because I'm better than that, right? But yeah, I'm your host, Big Brandon Carter, BBC, King Keto, King of Ketosis, Gymnasium Jesus, a Jesus de Gimnasio para mi gente de la Washington Heights. And I'm joined today by my producer and co-host, you know what I'm saying, the best producer in the game, Nima. It's good to know what it is. It's good to have you, man. You was gone for a minute. You doing producer shit, man. You know, Nima's the best producer in the game. He's like he follows in the great lineage of all the great producers who came before him. Harvey Weinstein, P Diddy.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? P Diddy got the hits. I seen him. You know what I'm saying? P Diddy got the hits. All right. You know what I'm saying? He's still making hits. He said he's still coming out with hits to this day. And Nima's following his footsteps. He's like the P Diddy of the show, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy.
Shout out to him. You know, hit maker. All right. And and also, you know what I'm saying, we got back, you know what I'm saying, Minovia, you know what I'm saying, my girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, she's running the comments, kicking out the haters, the shit talkers, right? And she Latina. So she got an itchy trigger finger, man. She can't wait to kick one of you motherfuckers out, man. She woke up dreaming, oh, I get to kick people out today. I get to kick out the haters. She gets excited about it. I'm like, yo, you need to relax. You got a problem. And then she spit the razor blade out her mouth and told me to chill. I was like, hey, no problemo, senorita. You know what I'm saying? She called me Keto Suave, Negro Poppy, you know what I'm saying? But that's for later on. That's for the after show that won't be televised. You know what I'm talking about? Big old titties. All right. And we got a lot we want to talk about today. We got a lot to get into. I'm gonna help you guys build your money, muscle, mindset. But first, we got a word from our sponsors. Neiman, do you know we have a sponsor? We have sponsors for this
It
show.
took us 111 episodes.
Man, they said it couldn't be done. They said we wouldn't last as long, but now we got sponsors. The first sponsor is the newsletter Big Money Methods. All right, this is the newsletter that accompanies the pod. All right, that accompanies the pod and is written by me and the homies. All right, so you want to go and click that link in the description. Put your email in here, and what's going to happen is twice a week, you're going to get email articles to help you do what? Get big money. They're going to be in those articles. There's going to be methods to get big money. See what we did there, right? So you see, it's written by the homie Chris. Chris is also one of my top sales guys. Big homie, man. Love Chris. And Scene. You know what I'm saying? We call him Scene because that's how it's spelled. You're supposed to spell Sean the way Jay-Z spells it. That's Scene. So the homie Scene wrote an article on how to make 100K with URL flipping. Shit, man. Flipping URLs. You know, I had to buy BrandonCarter.com. Some bitch ass nigga bought that shit and I had to pay $2,000 for it back in the day. Money well spent. All right. So he talks about how flipping URLs are like this a lucrative business. You know, I wrote an article about the power of saying no, how that's going to transform your motherfucking life. I'm wearing a suit and the URL. That's how you know it's for real. You know what I'm saying? And much more. All right. All written by me, Scene, and the homie Christopher. You know what it is. All right. Now, so make sure y'all subscribe immediately. All right. Now, we also got another sponsor. Right? Another sponsor. This is a very important product. It's coming out. This is this car. I only sponsor products I stand behind. Right? And I stand behind Thot repellent. Thot repellent is the easy to apply spray that'll keep the hose away. Right? So here's the problem. Once you've been watching the Victory Talk podcast for a certain amount of time, you know, and you join our free Discord where I got free courses in there and shit to help you build your money muscle mindset. What's gonna happen is there ain't gonna be a lot of motherfuckers like you in the world. Motherfuckers with money, in good shape, and they're not fucking insane, right? They got a good mindset, right? There's not gonna be a lot of motherfuckers like us, man. We'll be rare. And then, you know, women will like you more, right? Women will like you. But some of those women are gonna be Thots. So I had Nima. This is one of the reasons why we got Nima. All right. He was in Iran working on some. Look, I dare not say, right? But when we brought him here, we said, let's use those powers for good. We got him in the laboratory. I said, listen, Nima, we need a spray that will be genetically engineered, right? To only repel a certain kind of women, right? So good women, when they smell it, they'll be like, oh, that's an amazing aroma. You'll smell great. But a certain type of woman needs to like go into convulsions when she's around you or flee the scene. You know,
it was very complicated to get it to that point.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It had to do with DNA, artificial intelligence,
sacrifices,
double helix, you know what I'm saying? Hexagons. It's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? We got NASA involved. And what it does is it regular women, good women, the kind of women who go to church or the mosque, right? You know what I'm saying? They'll be fine. They'll love it. But this will repel all thots, sluts, skanks, hoes, slut hoes, skeezers, Jezebels, and Puerto Ricans, right? They won't be able to infiltrate your vicinity once you apply this to your body. You can even, I didn't ask for this, but Nima, you know, he's such a good producer. Again, he's the P Diddy of the show, right? He's like the best producer since P Diddy, right? He made it so it's strong enough that you can spray it around your house like a perimeter. And I didn't even think about, you need that, man, because just because they can't get to you in the streets don't mean they won't show up to your home. Once you really start balling, you know, like, listen, it's gonna be like, you ever seen, what's the name of the I'm a Legend with Will Smith, and at the end the zombies are trying to, that's what the Thots do when you really start fucking balling hard, right? So you spray it around your home, have a little perimeter, right? Now here's the thing, we're done with the clinical trials, right? All the casualties, you know, we settled the lawsuits, and we got it to a point where we can actually put this out now. All right, the research is done. Now it's the development, because this is just a prototype, right? They're gonna be smaller, FDA approved sizes, so you can bring it on planes, take it about the planet, wherever you go. But we need your help. We're crowdfunding this shit. So all your super chats go towards development of Thot repellent, and this is really coming out. This is really, you think it's a joke, but it's really coming out. All right. We've been talking to manufacturers, both domestic and abroad. And we're going to make sure this happens now. But we need all your super chats going to go towards research for it. I mean, go towards the development of this. We're going to get this out. It should be out within the next 90 to 120 days, somewhere in between. Right. But to let y'all know we serious, man. We even started working on the advertising campaign. Right. And I got songs. Like I got, because every good product needs a jingle. McDonald's was da 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 da. I'm loving it. Arby's we got the meats. Pause. And so we needed a jingle, right? So I came up with one. You know what I'm saying? I played it on the show before. I'm gonna play you this, but then also got a remix, right? So just check this out. Here's
bitches be tripping.
They do.
Hoes never act right.
Yeah.
Gotta stop the thoughts from fucking up your life. There are some good women, but some of them are not. That's why you need repellent to keep away the thoughts.
Yeah.
No, you need that repellent. You need that repellent to keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. You need that repellent. You need that repellent to keep away the thoughts. Keep away the thoughts. You need that repellent.
It's gonna go on the radio commercials, TV commercials, you know.
Keep away the thoughts. They take you off your grind.
They do. Everyone knows that.
Spend all of your cash.
You ain't gotta tell me.
Take up all your time. All you get is ass. Just a spray will keep thoughts away.
Yeah.
Spray it on your face, spray it on your crotch. Cause you need that repellent to keep away the thoughts. That's why you need repellent to keep away the thoughts.
Yeah.
You need that repellent.
Everybody, even at home, put your light
to keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. You need that repellent. You need that repellent.
I think it's a good song. I think it's a good jingle. It's gonna help us sell millions of this.
You need that repellent to keep away the thoughts. To keep away the hoes that got OnlyFans. Keep away the hoes with 8 baby dads.
Yeah.
Bitches with purple hair, no money in the bank. Bitches who try to fuck even though their pussy stank.
Every guy's got a stank pussy story. None of those stories end with the guy not fucking anyway.
To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts.
Yeah.
You need that repellent to keep away the thoughts.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep away the thoughts.
Keep away the thoughts.
Now check it out, guys. That's version 1, and it's lighthearted and it's fun. Like the whole family can get on. I can imagine the kids bop version of that. You know, but I wanted to test drive one that's a little more serious. I did one last week, but I got a different version. It's a little more serious. Tell me what you think.
Bitches be tripping. Hoes never act right.
They don't.
Gotta stop the thoughts from fucking up your life. There are some good women.
There's a few.
But some of them are not.
Yeah.
That's why you need repellent to keep away the thoughts.
Yeah.
You need that repellent.
This one
You need
has
that
a more serious tone.
repellent to keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts.
It's like we're taking them to church.
You need that repellent. You need that repellent to keep away the thoughts.
Yeah.
To keep away the
It's more
thoughts.
serious. It's a serious issue.
They take you off your grind. Spend all of your cash.
All your cash.
Take up all your time. All you get is ass. Just a spray will keep thoughts away. Spray it on your face. Cause you need Thot repellent to keep away the thoughts.
Take him to church.
You
know what I'm talking
need Thot repellent.
about? You know what I'm talking about?
You need Thot repellent to keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts.
Cause it's serious, man. Bitches is out here getting
You
pregnant.
need Thot repellent. You need Thot repellent.
purpose.
To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts.
Hold up, hit the bridge.
Keep away the hoes that got only fans. Keep away the hoes with a baby dance. Bitches with purple hair, no money in the bank. Bitches who try to fuck, even though that pussy stank. You need Thot repellent. You need Thot repellent. Thot repellent. Spray on your feet. Spray on your feet. You need Thot repellent. To keep away the thoughts. You need Thot repellent. To keep away the thoughts. You need away the thoughts.
Come on, man.
Keep away the thoughts.
All the superchats gonna go towards development. Keep away the thoughts. I got like 7 more of these.
The other gospel version, that's my favorite.
You want to hear the other gospel versions? This may be self-indulgent. You guys got to let me know in the chat. Do you want to hear the other? We got another gospel version that people like. Some people liked it better. You know, we just got to figure it out. You know, just let me know in the chat. Because this may be self-indulgent. You know what I'm saying? All right. They saying they want to hear it. At least Jesus Christ did. I'm assuming he speaks for all of you. All right.
Bitches be tripping.
It's more like blues.
Hoes
You know?
never act right. Gotta stop the thoughts fucking up your life.
You do.
There are some good women, but some of them are not.
Some of them aren't. That's why we developed.
That's why you need repellent to keep away the thoughts. You need Thot repellent. Thot repellent. Keep away the thoughts.
Yeah.
To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. You need Thot repellent. Thot repellent. To keep away the thoughts. 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 They take you off your grind.
Who knows that?
Spend all of your cash.
You'll be broke as fuck.
Take up all your time. All you get is ass. Just a spray will keep thoughts away. Spray it on your face. Spray it on your crotch. Cause you need Thot repellent to keep away the thoughts.
You do.
You need Thot repellent. Thot repellent. Thot repellent. Keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. You need Thot repellent. Thot repellent. To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the hoes that got only fans. Keep away the hoes with a baby dad. Yeah. Bitches with purple hair, no money in the bank. Bitches who try to fuck, even though that pussy stank. You need Thot repellent. Keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the thoughts. You need Thot repellent. Thot repellent. To keep away the thoughts. To keep away the hoes But hey, baby, dance. You need Thot repellent.
Come on now. And which one do y'all like the best? Type in comments 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, 3. I got more, but we don't want to do 2 hours of this shit. we ain't gonna do 2 hours of this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I am responding to super chats. You know, I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of lessons I want to give you guys today. I got a book of the week later in this podcast. I got some advice on how you can build your confidence so you can accomplish more, get into more, make more shit happen. However, Nima, I don't think we got time to go into it because we also got to do the market recap at 8. So before I get into the lessons, I'm gonna start answering some of these super chats we got right now. You know, I am answering super chats, man, super live super chats, and my girlfriend's gonna read them. You know what I'm saying? My girlfriend's gonna read them. All right, let's get it.
We have Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Last 2 paychecks, I've been saving 50%. I might have to live in a tent to keep it up.
Come on, man. Shout out to Dylan, my man. Because that's I go over that in the baller mindset course. It's free. It's in the Discord. It's free. It's significantly better than almost every course you've ever paid for. Better than college, most colleges. But I talk about how you need to come up. You got to make more money, one, and also reduce your spending to the point where you can only living off 50% of your income. Then you can take that other 50% and allocate it towards your goals and come up. How do I get rich with no money? You don't, bitch ass nigga. Like every time I hear that, hey man, I ain't got no money, man. How can I get some money? How can I start a business? You don't, motherfucker. Get a job. You know what I'm saying? And then get some capital. Dylan's on his way, man. Shout out to you, man. He put 5 and he put $5 into the Thot repellent, right? This is going to help all of us once we're balling, once this is out. All right, let's go, man. Shout out to you, Dylan.
We have Al-Bezim.
Mm-hmm.
BBC, you know I've been watching for last couple of months, improving on every aspect of life. I am working 12 hours a day, making money and doing Uber and investing in Section 8, but I struggle with patience.
There's a question in there. I'm assuming there's a question in there, or maybe he's just, just venting. No, I'm assuming he wants help with the patience aspect. All right. Well, first of all, shout out to you, L Busy, right? That 12 hours a day working, the dorks, losers will hear that shit and be like, oh man, what about enjoying life? Listen, man, you ain't enjoying life if you a broke boy. You know what I'm saying? If you a poor boy, you ain't enjoying life, right? We got to come up. And the thing is, recreation is not the only way to enjoy life, right? Some of us enjoy life by pushing ourselves, seeing how far we can go, seeing what we're made of, challenging ourselves, right? Fucking video games, smoking weed, parties, drugs, vacations, all that shit is fine, I guess, right? But but it's not that's not the only way to enjoy life. Like if you can learn to enjoy pushing yourself to the limit, really seeing what you're made of, pursuing victory with motherfucking intensity. Because everybody says they want to be successful and they'll do anything to be successful. But if I ask most of you motherfuckers what you did today, it would expose you. You would be exposed. However, L Busy, he's on his shit, man. 12 hours a day. That's what I'm talking about. He struggles with patience. All right. Now check this out, bro. Patience is one of my strong suits. For whatever reason, I've always been patient. Like I'm not complacent, but I've always been patient. And one of the reasons is because, excuse me. How do I put this? For me, the patience comes from confidence, right? And we're going to talk later in this pod about specific ways to build more confidence, but it's like when I'm going after something with a certain amount of intensity, I don't have no doubt that I'm going to accomplish it. And I start and because of that, I'm excited about it now. as if it already happens. Like the goals I have for the end of this year or next year, I'm excited about them now. And it's almost like I'm living in it now. Like, oh man, that's a done deal. I know that's gonna happen, you know, and it's not like, oh man, I can't wait till that happens. It's like, oh man, that's just about to happen. And there's no anxiety. I believe that impatience, part of it is anxiety. You get what I'm saying? Like you're not exactly sure if it's going to happen. Does that make sense? Right? You know, because if you knew for a fact that it was going to happen, you wouldn't have any anxiety. Right? Now you still may be eager, right? Like Christmas, like, you know, Christmas on the 24th, you know, Christmas is going to be the next day. If you're Latino, but you know, y'all celebrate Christmas on the 20th, celebrate Christmas on 24th. But I'm saying, you know what I mean? You know, Christmas is coming. You don't have to worry about it. You get what I'm saying? And you may be eager, but it's not anxiety. It's not anxiety, right? So if you're eager without anxiety, it's easier to be patient. Does that make sense? So, you know, when you know something's going to happen, you won't have the anxiety attached to it. And I really believe that's where impatience comes from. You get what I'm saying? But if you know it's going to happen, it's like, oh yeah, man, it's all good. It's all good. You'll be eager and excited, but you won't be, there's no apprehension involved, you know? And I truly believe that impatience comes from that anxiety and maybe a little bit of a lack of confidence. And El Busy, you know, I'm not trying to talk shit about you. You're the big homie you hear every week. You know what I'm saying? And we twice a week. And I'm proud of everything you've been accomplished. I've watched you super chat every episode, and every episode it seems like you're making progress towards your goal. You know, so I definitely don't want to give the impression I'm talking shit about you. However, I also know where you came from. You were struggling when you first started super chatting, right? So maybe you haven't given yourself a reason to be confident yet, right? Because you haven't accomplished some of the things. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something that happens with confidence, and we're going to talk about it more later in this pod. But let me share something. I'm going to go into depth on the subject of confidence in this pod, but to answer this super chat, hold on for a second. Get this going. All right. So like when you have a win, right? A win. The win will actually breed more confidence, right? And that confidence will allow you to chase bigger wins, right? So a lot of times when it becomes like a feedback loop, right? You know, let me draw this better so it makes more sense. Right. So you win, you have you have confidence, right? So then you could take action that's like maybe bigger than the action you took before, which can cause you to have an even bigger win. That's supposed to be a W, but I'm retarded. All right, hold on. Cause you have an even bigger win than you had before, right? Which will give you more confidence than you had before, which allows you to take even bigger actions, right? Boom. And then you have even bigger wins, right? I call this the victory cyclone. It works in reverse too. If you've been out here fucking failing and shit, then you'll be less likely to take action, which is going to diminish your confidence, which will make you even less likely to take action, which will diminish your confidence even more because you're taking L's, right? And you'll see when we talk about it later, there's even a biological part of this where winning. I guess I can show it to you now. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna show this again later in the thing. Where was I? Oh yeah, right here. So here's a study that shows that when you have some sort of success or some winning, you can Google this and read this shit on your own time, nerds. But or you can just fucking listen to me because I'm that nigga. But the study, it basically shows that when you have a success or when your testosterone actually raises, and it makes you more likely to go after more goals, because when your testosterone, the higher your testosterone, actually the more willing you are to take risks and the more aggressive you'll be towards goals and the acquisition of success, right? And that's the victory cyclone, right? That's what happens. So I say all that to say, because you ain't had a whole bunch of big wins yet, Busy, that's where the impatience comes from. You get what I'm saying? And that's where the impatience comes from. What you need to do is focus on winning each day, as opposed to looking at your big long-term goals. And we talked about this more in the videos about leading indicators, lagging indicators. But it's like making today a victory, right? And today should be full of the things that will lead to your long-term success. And if you just focus on today, focus on what's in front of you, and really don't think about the big goals you have later, right? Just try to think about them as much. You can only think about one thing at a time. That's the beauty of the human brain. You can only think about one thing at a time. So just think about what's in front of you, making today a victory, and then you can go to sleep happy, right? You win today, and also if today's a victory, right, then that works the same way with the victory cyclone. Right. Okay. I won today, man. So I have more confidence. I can go harder tomorrow. I can accomplish more. Right. And because of the study I just showed you, if you win today, if today's a win, then on a biological level, you'll be more well suited to win tomorrow and so forth. Right. But if your victory, if you only associate victory with the big goals, then it may be months or years before you get a win, before you get a victory. Does that make sense? Right. But if you can get these victories today, then they start to stack. And we're going to talk about that more later on in the show. All right. I think I answered your question, L Busy. Let's get one more because Romulus is going to be up in here soon, giving us the market recap.
We have watching YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help out my family business with accounting skill. Should I get a master in accounting in a reputable school to secure a position in top 4 just in case, or go to a cheap school?
So I'm a big fan of state schools. I didn't go to state school, right? Again, if y'all know my story, my dad paid for my college gambling. Maybe that's a story I'll tell later. Where he played my whole college was paid for by my dad playing blackjack. Every semester he was like, "How much is the tuition again?" I was like, "Nigga, I told you already." It's this. And then he was like, "All right, man, I'm gonna hit the tables. I'll let you know what's up." And that was my whole college experience. However, if I didn't have a father who was a gambling addict, I would have went to a state school, right? Because in-state tuition on average in the United States on average is it's $10,000 a year. That's fucking nothing. That's nothing. You can make that on the weekends driving Uber and shit. You know what I'm saying? You can make that working Foot Locker part-time. It's nothing. You don't have to go no debt, none of that shit. And that's why I'm a big fan of going to a state school and getting in-state tuition, right? You won't have to take on no debt, and it's fucking cheap. In Florida, in-state tuition is $4,000 at a state school. That is fucking nothing. That is nothing. That's fucking pocket change, my nigga. You know, so if I was you, I would do that because I'm a fan of that. And I'm like, you don't have to take on a whole lot of debt, you know. If you can do that, I would do it. You feel me? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's get another one off, man, because you know Rhyme is about to come through with the market recap. Is he coming through? Okay. Oh, Romulus showed
Mr.
up.
Hen Doggy Dog 3.
All right.
Thanks for being the man you are. I'm going through a breakup, and watching your videos has helped me develop a mindset to become the man to make her regret it.
Yeah. Shout out to you, man. Yo, shout out to you. That's what you got to do. Because one of two things is going to happen. A year or two from now, she's going to look back and she's going to be like, whew, I dodged the bullet. Glad I didn't have his babies. Or she's going to feel like, damn, I missed my shot. I fumbled the bag, you know? And that's the only way you can get revenge. Frank Sinatra said, massive success is the best revenge. The best revenge is massive success, you know? And then I heard Oprah quote that shit once. Oprah, the same chick who be talking about like happy shit sometimes and like law of attraction and shit. Even she said the best revenge is massive success, you know? Go get your revenge, man. Go get your revenge. I'm excited for you. I have a video on the list of hate. I don't know what the name of that video is. It's a video on discipline. I don't know the title. He's gonna put it in the comments. Go watch that video. Put her on a list of hate. You know, and that's gonna actually help you propel you to accomplish your goals and make it actually more likely for you to succeed. You know what it is, man. Carlos is dropping jewels. Yo, for right now, I want to help you guys get some fucking money immediate. And that's why I brought my trading mentor, former hedge fund manager, Romulus, with the market recap. Romulus, what's going on, player?
What's good, Legion crew? Hello from the Ancient Roman Forum. Welcome, everybody. Excited to be here. And before we get going, because we've got some fun things we want to be talking about, despite how, boy, it seems like it's summer out there already, and it's not even the end of May. But tomorrow afternoon, like we do, we do this on Wednesdays, Brandon. You know that. We do a free, that's right, a free Traders Town Hall. It is located in the Victory Unit Discord. You have to join. There's a link right there. Click on it. Join the Discord tomorrow afternoon, like every Wednesday, 4:15 Eastern time.
Yeah. Don't we have aren't we doing a free masterclass Wednesday night?
Tomorrow night. Yeah,
tomorrow night. We're doing a free class, man, on me, Romulus, and the homie Greg. So you definitely want to sign up for that. The link's in the description as well.
Tomorrow night. So we got a busy Wednesday over here in the Victory Unit Legion, which is exciting by all stretches. And in the last couple of weeks, again, it feels like summertime already, Brandon, out there in the international markets. What happens in the summertime? People, they take their vacations, they go away, schools are out, people take advantage of that extra time. The weather's better most places, so they're outside doing things, not so much paying attention to what's happening in the financial market. So it is obvious and clear that things will naturally slow down, but that doesn't happen typically till well after Memorial Day weekend, which is coming up. We're talking like July and August. But it's happening already. It really is and I don't know if it might have something to do with the presidential election. We might even see behavior like this all the way through then. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Kind of amazing. But regardless, it is happening now. So we're going to show the screen over here and get down to business, which we like to do. Hold on. It always takes a minute to get this done. Let's make sure. Give it a 2 or 3 or a 4 count. And let me know if you see the screen with the stock chart up there. Do you? Yes or no?
I do.
Beautiful.
That's a SPY hitting all-time highs. Come on, man.
High closing here. Yeah, today, as a matter of fact. And volume comes up a little bit. But, okay, this is what I mean about this summer kind of behavior. You see over here, starting right there on May 6th. So we're talking a couple of weeks. This isn't just only a few days. The volume has been really non-existent. Even though it went up a little today from yesterday, it has been down, very, very quiet out there. And that is a little bit odd for this time of year. You normally will see that behavior. Okay, post-Christmas makes sense. July and August, understand. But now, so intermediate and longer term, this is something that the perma bulls, the people that are just always bullish no matter what, which is just a dumb way to be, they need to be cautious and careful about this, because an up market, a rallying market, a bull market needs volume in order to sustain itself. It needs to have that fuel to continue to move higher. It needs to have that new interest, that fresh blood, that new money coming into the market to keep the prices going higher. And obviously, we're not seeing that new money. We're not seeing that fresh blood coming in. You could tell by the declining volume figures. So it doesn't mean that it bodes poorly for the market for today, tomorrow, or even next week, or perhaps even the week after. But sometime over coming weeks, unless, which could happen still, unless the volume really starts to come back in, we're going to have to pay the price for the very quiet attitude toward the stock market that we're seeing right now.
So you're saying it's not a good, even though it's going up, it looks like an inverse correlation is what I'm hearing.
Again, typically you will want to see volume. And of course, it can still come in as prices go higher, gets people more excited. They start to add money. They don't want to miss out. That FOMO starts to hit and click and take over their rational thinking and turn it into irrational thinking. But for right now, when I've seen this in the many times in the past 25 plus years that I've been doing this, and it typically will lead to some kind of a market pullback or a correction that catches people off guard because there's complacency, and that's what is the evidence of the declining volume and the very quiet nature. You can also see that in the form of the VIX, how the VIX is trading at a multi-year low, closing at a multi-year low, maybe not intraday, but closing at a multi-year low. That's showing a large level of complacency and an attitude that, okay, stocks are just going to go up no matter what. And we know that's never the case, right? Like we know that's never the case.
Never the case. Nothing goes up, at least not in a straight line.
No, nothing goes up in a straight line. So there's some things that we know for sure, and that's certainly one of them. So did you get to your Red Lobster before they shut everything down, Brandon, or what?
Yo,
I didn't get there.
I didn't get there yet. I haven't been there in quite some time. The only real good reason to come to Red Lobster was them biscuits. So I haven't been in there since I went keto because I ain't eat the biscuits.
Yeah, no, I haven't been there, and I would probably enjoy a biscuit. I will say yes, but I have not been there, and they're shutting them down all over, including the couple that are in my city. But the reason I bring that up is not so that to encourage everybody to go out and eat biscuits.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you eat a biscuit or not. I mean, nothing.
The biscuit podcast.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to do, you go for it. If you don't, fine.
Biscuit talk,
right?
Victory talk.
But it shows that even with the S&P 500 at closing at a new all-time high, there is some relevance here. That we do have still risk out there. There are still situations going on. Like, I mean, Red Lobster was not just your mom and pop little corner restaurant. I mean, it's a major operation.
Yeah, man.
A big time type of a player out there. And there are many companies that, despite, again, the close at a new all-time high, that not everything is going up. And that brings me back to the very nature of this. Look at the difference. So you see the S&P new all-time high, NASDAQ 100 new all-time high, Dow Jones Industrial Average a couple days ago, all-time high, not today or yesterday, but a couple days ago. But the Russell 2000, which is these smaller caps, which is where a lot of the retail customers tend to buy stocks in these small companies. You see that this is not at a high. By the way, the all-time high here is 245. It hasn't been seen since November of 2021.
And that's where most of the stocks are.
Yeah, exactly.
Like most of the stocks in the actual stock market are in the Russell 2000.
Yeah, see, so right? Any of you guys who thought I was nuts for bringing up Red Lobster, now you see how I came around on that path, right? I took you around. I showed you the all-you-can-eat buffet, and I just revealed it to you right here.
Come on.
That's right. Most retail traders, most retail investors, most people that watch the YouTubes and that listen to the Twitters and whatever to go get stock tips. These are the kind of companies that they buy and sell and that they're involved in. Smaller companies, because when they go, they have the ability potentially to bring an outsized rate of return. And these people, they're gambler types. So you're so far from an all-time high, it's ridiculous. And even just speaking of the last couple of months, it's not far away from a rally high, but it's still not there. It's once again, and this has been endemic within the stock market since the COVID lows in March of 2020, that the small cap stocks have vastly underperformed their larger cap brethren. This is possibly the longest period of time, so we're going on over 4 years, that I can remember a differential of this nature extending itself for this kind of a time frame. It's interesting, and it will have repercussions. This is longer term. I'm not sure exactly what the repercussions are yet. We could get into different economic, philosophical discussions not meant for this type of media. But that's exactly what this is eventually going to lead to. There's going to be disruption because of this. Okay, the politicians are not going to sit by. They'll take some action. The companies will take some action. And the situation where the Googles and the Amazons just go up and, very few other companies do forever, that'll take some changing. It'll happen over time, maybe after the presidential election, and perhaps regardless of who wins. Speaking of that low volume, you see here, this is getting to be a risky situation. Okay, this is kind of a rising wedge, which is a bearish configuration, not a bullish configuration. And when you combine that with the lower declining volume, this is a high risk situation. I would personally, this is just me, but I wouldn't own this stock right now. I would
now would be time to take profit, is what I'm hearing.
I would be taking profit. That's me. I would be taking profit in that company again because of the rising wedge situation, the declining volume, and it just looks like it's kind of teetering on an edge over here, that it wants to have kind of one of these pullback situations. Now,
so those of y'all don't know, what he's saying is like even though the stock is rising, the volume is going down too, the volume's going. So it's like an inverse correlation.
Yeah. So one thing is interesting, the gold. Here we go. Sorry, gold hit a new all-time high a couple of days ago on a closing basis and an intraday basis here. And this is something when Legatus Greg was on the podcast recently, he was talking quite a bit about gold. He was mentioning that you can get involved buying. There was a way that you can buy this, which is just gold through an exchange traded fund. You can buy this, which is a group of gold mining companies. Of course, they're going to move in correlation, which just means that they're going to move in a similar type of a fashion. So we talked a lot about that, and hopefully some people were listening and were able to
that'd be some free money.
Turn it
if
into,
they was listening and they
turn into smart moves for themselves, and they're trading or investing. So that's something that we brought out here, and our Legion has been heavily involved in that kind of stuff over different periods of time as well. So
for sure,
something we wanted to mention to everybody. And of course, before you even get to it,
come on, man, you already knew what I was on. Let's go, man. Listen, Romulus. You told us, you said, Romulus, I want to give you a shout out because I said, hey, Celsius, what do you think? I like the stock. And you said, hey, you said, if it hits the 200 again, 200-day moving average, buy more. And boom, it did that. And if you guys would have followed our advice when we said that, you'd be up, 90%?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's a big moving company right now. Obviously, they're drinking the product. They have a lot of energy, and they're spiking up, and everything continues to look fine. I mean, there you go.
Listen, I don't know if we played a role in the stock going up.
Probably not. Probably not. No, it's a big ass company.
It's a big ass company, man.
But we realized that there was an opportunity here, and we just shared it. That's what we do.
And like if you would have been listening to us at any point in time, you'd have made money, man. Last time I hit the 100-day movie average was in January.
A couple months ago, back earlier in the year, right over here.
Yep. Yeah, because I brought it up towards the end of last year. I was like, yo, Celsius, what's up? Yeah. And then you said when it hits the 200, and then we went.
Yep, exactly right.
I loaded up.
It has done us proud. I feel like I'm proud pop over here with that one.
Come on, man. And listen, if you made some money off it, type in the comments. If you made some money off this trade, type in the comments. I'm still holding. I like the stock.
Yeah. Looks and it can be volatile. Obviously, has some pretty big swings in there, but they're picking up momentum. They're starting to show up in more stores. I see the cans of the stuff sitting on more desks when I'm walking around offices and visiting people, and it's just something that has a bit of a runway in front of it. If you had an opportunity 15, 20 years ago to get involved in Red Bull, would you have said yes to that?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think you should have and would have. It's obviously that was a good move, right?
Yeah.
That was a good move. And now this company seems to be, acting well in a lot of fronts. So, good for them, Skippy for them. And so the other thing, the cryptos are coming.
That crypto it broke the other way. I did not last week. I said I was going to short it. Right. I did not do that. Lucky me.
Lucky you. It went up, but this is going up on news of Ether becoming having a chance to have their own exchange traded fund. But I was thinking about this the other day. Everything about crypto and everything about Bitcoin is, it goes up or down, and up recently based on news of something happening, like it's going to get an ETF or it's going to halve, or from a couple months ago it's going to go through the halving.
Yeah,
but there's never any news that says Bitcoin is now useful. Like never.
Yo, you ever tried to buy anything in Bitcoin? It's a pain in the ass. It's not a good currency.
15
right? It's just not a good currency.
It's been around, and there's not one news announcement that says, attention public, Bitcoin is now useful.
Yeah, it's something, but it's not.
But useful ain't it.
Currency. Yeah.
Like useful ain't it. Okay.
Yeah.
All they are is hype. That's all it is. The only reason it ever goes up is because it's hype. It's more just 3-card money bullshit.
Yeah. And I'll gamble on it. You know what I'm saying?
An ETF, let's run higher. Oh, it's going to have. Ether's going to. But there's never, ever, ever an announcement like from when 15 years ago, when it was originally hyped, it was going to do all these things. It has done zero of those. Let me repeat that. It has done zero of the things that it was promised to do.
Only thing I've seen it used for is like criminal transactions. Like, it's good for crime.
Well, yeah, it used to be, but now all the secrets.
Not even now. It's not even good at crime.
No, because all the spy agencies and all like the NSA and all, they know how to crack the code now.
It's not even good for crime.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. You can they trace it and track it all day now. They 10 years ago they couldn't, but now they trace it and track it all the time now. And it's just a big hype thing. I don't want to.
I'm gonna have to find another way to pay you. I'm just joking.
How's the house's wallet holding up?
No, we pay him in American greenbacks.
Oh, I thought it was Kazakhstan show. Right. All right. So yeah, I'm a big history buff. I mean, heck, Romulus, right? Of course.
Yeah.
And ancient Rome is my specialty. When I was in college, I majored in history, and ancient European history was my concentration. So that's kind of how that fun thing came about. But I also like any kind of history, like anything. I just enjoy it. And I've been digging deeper into the Civil War. So it was something about when General Lee was coming across the border in 1863, coming up into Pennsylvania. They were going around the northern farms, and they were buying stuff from farmers, and they were paying them with, Southern Confederate money. Right.
Yeah, how good. Yeah. Hey,
that laugh. So anyway, it's just something to think about here. That yes, they can go higher, but please don't bet the farm or your neighbor's farm or your enemy. Well, maybe your enemy's farm. That would be right there. So markets again, new all-time highs. Been a bit quiet, as you can see with the volume pulling back, but it won't stay quiet for too long. Tomorrow there's a big event.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a big event. So we ready for this? Everybody?
Yeah. What's up?
Popcorn and comfy in their seats, because here it comes. All right. The biggest earnings announcement of the year so far.
That's right. NVIDIA.
Okay. Here it is. And NVIDIA. The volume in NVIDIA has been declining quite rapidly lately.
Yeah.
And again, but here's the thing. If this was going on in isolation over here, this pattern, you see how I moved the chart?
Mm-hmm.
If that was happening right here, I like the way this looks. Like this is a bullish configuration.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like a high base. Would you call that high base?
High base, maybe a little bit of a inverse head and shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that kind of. This is all a nice little configuration happening
above the moving averages. Looks good.
Yep. But when I pull it out and I see, because it's kind of come up quite a bit, it's not quite as bullish. I learned a long time ago there was a newspaper that is still around, but not like it used to be, Investors Business Daily.
Yeah.
And, the founder of the company, William O'Neill, a true champion of technical analysis. And
you ain't got to tell us about William O'Neill. You know what I'm saying? We know.
He's fantastic. I never met him personally, but I guess, studied under his works for quite a while. Learned a lot from what he put out there. A lot of admiration and thumbs up for him. He would say that this is a very late stage base. And even after a third stage, and this is like fifth or sixth stage kind of a base, has a much less likelihood of, continuing in the direction that people would want it to go. Now, earnings are tomorrow after the close. So it's about 4:00 tomorrow afternoon. Oh, this is great. This is one of the reasons among many why it would be an awesome idea for you to join us. What? Tomorrow in the Victory Unit Discord. What am I talking about? Traders Town Hall, 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time.
So we got our free training at 7.
Tomorrow at 7.
Our masterclass. So if you really want to learn about investment, and me, Romulus, and Greg are going to show you at 7 p.m. The link is in the description.
Excellent. Yep.
Fuck with us, man.
Talk about NVIDIA earnings because they will be out at that point.
Yeah.
Dig into it a little more detail among many other great topics that we're excited to share with everybody. But so this would be considered by William O'Neill a late stage base. And look, obviously, there's no secret here. It's not like they're going to surprise people. Hey, NVIDIA made a lot of money. Well, no shit. Okay. I mean, still people buying their chips. The question though is a lot of these tech companies, and I'm going to show a bunch of them, Meta, Google, Amazon, Apple, and these guys, they're starting to make their own AI chips. I mean, AMD is also a competitor out there. They're starting to make their own AI chips, whether it's for sale to other companies like Intel or AMD, or using them themselves like Amazon and Meta and Google. But everyone is getting into the business of making their own AI chips. And it's already eating into NVIDIA's business. So the question will be, how much does NVIDIA expect that to keep eating into their business over the next 6 months? They're going to beat the earnings estimate. Okay, that goes without saying. But they have to do what's called a beat and raise. So they have to beat the estimate of whatever that number is, and we'll look it up real quick here. It's $5.60 a share. They got to come out. They got to do better than that, and they probably will. But then they have to say, well, analysts, you guys were expecting, $10 next quarter. Well, we're going to do 12. So it's called a beat and raise. If the analysts are looking for 10 and NVIDIA beats this quarter, but then they say, oh, we're going to come in at 9 and you guys were looking for 10, the stock will get demolished. Even if they beat earnings tomorrow. Okay. It's about the range or the lack of. It's about the prediction from the CEO of the company about what they're going to do in the current, the next current quarter.
Okay.
That's what it's about.
All right.
That's what it's about. So there's going to be some fireworks Wednesday night and Thursday morning for sure. No matter what they do, whether they beat and raise or miss or whatever, there's going to be a lot of trading. There's going to be a lot of movement. The sleepy nature of the market will reverse itself, if only temporarily. And then down the road, we've got June 12th, a couple of weeks away. We do have a Fed meeting that'll spike it. And then it'll be summer sleepy time. It just looks like summer sleepy time is coming sooner than normal.
Can I put one, listen, I'm still giving you the credit because you told us when to enter and you confirmed but I called out the Celsius stock. I got another stock that I would like to put on your radar.
Let's do it.
And I want to know you think Chipotle.
All right.
All right. It's formed a high base, but more interesting than that is they beat earnings, but more interesting on June 24th, they're doing a 50-to-1 split. Right. So, so those of you don't know, the stock is going to split. So correct me if I'm wrong on this. That means every share will split into 50 shares.
Yeah. If you own one share, you have spent $3,155 to buy that share. Yeah. After that June 24th, you will now have 50 shares. Yeah. But your 50 shares will still be worth when you multiply the price, $3,155. But
now that doesn't affect the price. It's still worth the same, right? Yeah. However, it does change things as far as the options market is concerned.
It could add some liquidity. It could add some activity and behavior. Which also tends to, it could be bullish or bearish both on that front, but people seem to be reacting well to the idea that they're going to be doing a stock split. So the stock, if it's split, right this second, and it's 30, so think about it's 31.72. It closed at, divided by 50. Each share would be $63.44, but you would have 50 shares instead of one share, and you would have the same value. That's why stock splits, they're not anything more than hype as well. But again, because of the lower
nature of the market,
spike up the options a little bit and get some more activity, and that could lead to some more bullish outcomes as well.
I like the stock. I like both fundamental and technical. I like everything about what I'm seeing. What do you think?
Do you eat there?
They got a keto bowl. I think they meant to call it a King Keto Bowl, but everyone mistakes.
I was there a couple days ago. Actually, I went there. I went there for dinner last Thursday night, and I got funny. I got the bowl.
Come on, man.
I did. I enjoyed it.
Listen.
It was a good $9 spent. That's all I'm saying. It was nice.
In New York, they figured out how to get Puerto Ricans to feed us Mexican food. So that's something.
Right.
They figured out. leave that one alone. You can leave that one alone. We can move on. Yeah, but what do you think of the stock?
Yeah, it's good. I don't personally like to buy things that are run up like this. I like to get things that are basing or pull back but I wouldn't sell it up here just like with Celsius. I wouldn't sell it up here right now. As I mentioned, the rest of the stock market is, confirmed uptrend, power uptrend. So, except for Google, that thing looks dumb right now.
Yeah.
That thing just looks dumb. But
you don't even like that it's high basing right now.
CMG?
Yeah.
No, it looks like it wants to keep going in the consolidated phase for a bit longer.
Okay. All right.
Which is okay. I mean, you can see little pullbacks here and there along the way. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, listen, Romulus, thank you so much. Listen, and if you guys want to learn more about the shit we're talking about, how to make money in these markets the way we do, we are doing a free training at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Right. Me, Romulus, and the homie Greg.
That's right. Excited about it. So you can check it out tomorrow in the Discord or tonight. There's links in there. And then again, tomorrow, 4:15 Eastern time, Greg and myself will be doing a free traders town hall. That's just a quick little gathering. We usually have just one quick little topic, but the topics tend to be punchy and we hope helpful. So
spend all afternoon with us. Let's go. And thank you, Romulus. Appreciate it. All right. I got a lot of stuff I want to teach today. Let's get into some of these super chats first, though. I know we got some, man. We
have King Carbs.
Okay, what up, King?
What are your thoughts on a good entry point for BITO? Looks like good dividends and premiums. Do you like the stock?
BITO. We should have asked Romulus when he was there. So this is a Bitcoin ETF, right? Yeah, you can show my screen. So this is a Bitcoin ETF, and looking at the chart, I like it. I do feel the same way about Romulus about Bitcoin. None of us use let's be honest. None of us have used Bitcoin for anything, maybe ever. And if you have, it's been like an isolated incident. It's not a good currency as it stands. That can change it, as it stands. But if I'm just looking at the chart, if I wanted to trade this shit, I think this is a good entry point. Honestly, it's looking bullish. It came down past 200 and bounced back up past it. Then it tried. I like it. Don't worry about all the indicators I have. I'm a crazy person, but I like it. What I would do, man, especially if it's still red tomorrow, I'd probably sell puts even lower. And one of two things happens, right? Either if it goes down and hits your strike price, then you'll end up owning shares of it. That's cool. You still keep the premium no matter what. So you got paid to buy it lower, or it goes up and you keep the premium and you don't have to buy the stock, like the money sold. Right. And if you guys don't know about selling puts or selling options, because I don't like to buy options like a lot of people do. I sell them. And it's too much to get into now, but it's an easy way. It's a way to make money off stocks. I make money off my stocks every week. And we're going to talk about that more. Greg said the same thing. If you could we're going to talk about that more tomorrow. Greg's going to teach you about like selling stocks. I make like between 10 to 20 grand every month selling options. We'll talk about more of it. All right. That's what I would do. I would sell if I wanted to get into this one. I feel good about it, but I would still sell options to get into it. Sell puts. What else we got?
We have a super sticker from Efosa.
Yo, Efosa. Shout out to you, man. Looking like an African warlord from the future. And I mean that, and that's all compliments, brother. That's high praise.
And we have James.
Mm-hmm.
I gave my cat away when I moved because I couldn't afford to keep her. She died today and I feel like I failed her. How do you handle blame and death?
It's a lot to unpack there. you know, it's a part of life, man. You know, and it's okay to feel bad, and it's okay to okay, so here's the thing. It's okay to feel bad, and there's a lesson there, bro. There's a lesson that can serve you forever. So when my father committed suicide, right, he had a lot of problems, you know, probably some undiagnosed psychological issues, right? Because I have bipolar 2, it's hereditary, so it stands to reason, you know, he has some shit going on too. I mean, mentally healthy people don't typically blow their fucking brains out, right? But he also got himself into some trouble financially, like some big trouble, you know, that he just couldn't get out of, right? And I remember when it happened, I thought, fuck, you know, if I had enough money, I would have saved my father. I don't know what that number is, but there is an amount of money that if I had it, I could have bailed him out of whatever situation he was in. And I still have a dad. Now, my therapist at the time told me that, you know, I shouldn't think like that, you know. But what the fuck, that bitch? No, she broke. That's why you don't talk to broke people, right? Because it's true. Like, even if whether I should think about it or not, it's true, right? And the lesson for you, James, is what I took away was, all right, I'm going to work so hard and make so much money that I will never again be in a position where someone I love needs my help and I can't help them. I'm going to see to it that when my family needs me or people I care about need me, I will be there for them. And that's been the case since then. And it's motivated me, right? And you got to remember, man, money makes all your decisions, right? You had to give your cat away because you didn't have enough money, right? And, you know, sometimes people talk shit about me. Money's not everything. Money's not everything. Money makes all your decisions. My man, I still have a dad. The homie James will still have a cat. You know, you don't live in the fucking, all you guys, you don't live in the fucking best house available. You live in the best house you can afford. Oh man, I really care about my parents. I want to do every stuff for my parents. Really? I mean, you don't, what you do from now is not the best available. You do the best you can afford. Man, my kids mean everything to me. Well, you don't give them the best, you give them the best you can afford. And we all do. You know, we all do. Money makes all your decisions. Some of you guys would be watching this on a better device if you had more money. You know, you'd be wearing better clothes if you had more money. Right? Right. And again, money won't make you happy. Money's job is not to make you happy. Money's job is to be exchanged for goods and currencies. Your emotions are your own fucking responsibility. Stop trying to put it on money all the time. Money's job is not to make you happy, man. Stop using money as a scapegoat, right? They're two different things. Financial stability and success and emotional and your emotions, your emotional well-being are two different subjects that should not be related, right? So I don't want to hear that money won't make you happy shit because it's not supposed to, right? But what you are supposed to do is be able to take care of the people you love. And the majority of the time that's going to cost money, right? Here on earth, it's going to cost money. Right? I don't know if you're somehow you're watching this from another solar system on a different planet where you have a different currency, a different way of exchanging goods and services, then, you know, maybe this is not applicable to you. But if you are here on earth, all the goods and services, you know, food, water, shelter, you need it, right? And everything, but the quality of that food, water, and shelter will depend on how much money you have. The amount of it will depend on how much money you have. You know what I'm saying? And if you really want the best for your kids, you got to get some fucking bread, right? If you really want the best for your family, you got to get some fucking bread, man. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you just talking. You know. I went on a little tirade. I apologize, James. The lesson here: don't lose that lesson, right? Never be in a position where you can't take care of the people you love again. And fortunately for you, it was just a cat. And I'm not saying pets aren't valuable or they don't mean a lot to you. It's probably like a family member. I remember I had to give away my cat, Meow Mix Poppy, the homie George. I had to give away George But it was because my son was allergic to cats. You know what I'm saying? Who we got that from? But and it hurt. It's painful, right? You know, I get it. But you know, I lost my dad because I didn't have enough money. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you gotta don't run away from that. Understand that that's what happened, and make sure it doesn't happen again. You use that when you lose, don't lose the lesson. You feel me? All right. No more super chats yet. But you know, I will be answering super chats throughout the remainder of the show. I want to get into something. So I got two topics I want to talk about. One is I want to talk about success. We're going to get into, about building confidence, how to become more confident. We're going to get into it. But before that, I want to talk about I'm going to do a book of the week, but I'm going to do it in a way that I'm the book of the week has to do with P Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to, it all makes sense. Let's get into the book of the week. All right. Hold on for a second. Play it again. Play one more time. I'm not ready. All right. Okay, check this out, guys. So recently, a video has come out of P Diddy how do I say this? P Diddy straight choke slamming his ex-girlfriend Cassie. And it's before I get into this video, I want to say that I'm repulsed by this. We don't condone violence in any way, right? I think he should be punished for that, and it was an awful thing. You should never hit women under any circumstances. We learned that from Chris Brown. We've been knew that, right? But I want to examine what happened to Diddy, because he didn't start off doing goddamn Smash Bros moves on chicks in hallways, right? He didn't start off like that. But I read a book a while ago called The Winner Effect that I think explains a lot of his behavior. So I read this book. As you can see, I purchased this book in 2016, back in the day. It's called The Winner Effect. And this is a really good book. And I really think it explains a lot of why he behaves like that. And in this video, I want to show you some lessons you can learn from P Diddy. Because I think it's a cautionary tale, and I truly believe you're going to find this very valuable, right? So in this book, The Winner Effect, it basically explains. Let me hold on for a second. Oh, all right. So in the book, The Winner Effect, the author talks about how winning, right, actually changes. Oh, let me start over. Winning actually changes your mind and your physiology on a biological level, right? So winning causes biological changes in your brain and in your body. So in layman's terms, winning, what it's going to do is, one of the things it does on a biological level is it increases testosterone, right? And I'm actually going to show you a study that kind of proves that. Winning this is a study by some motherfuckers, right? And they went into how actually when you win a sporting event or any kind of victory in any capacity, it actually increases your testosterone. In fact, there's also studies that show that when people watch their team win a sporting event, momentarily they have a testosterone spike, right? And it actually works in the opposite way too, right? So it increases testosterone, but it also increases confidence, right? So winning will make you more confident. And that makes sense, right? If you're good at something and you have some victories, you'll have more confidence, but you also have but remember, you also have more testosterone as a result of your victories. Now, here's the thing. And the book goes into way more detail. You definitely want to check it out. Testosterone also causes you to become a lot more risky, right? So here's a study that shows that basically this study was done on motherfucking stockbrokers, stock traders and shit. And the more testosterone they had, the more financial risk they were willing to take. Right? And also, fun fact, in this study, it also said that a lot of times women make better traders because they have less testosterone. You know, something to consider. You know, I know Myron's going to be mad at me for giving women props. But just stick with me. All right. But check this out. Now you have confidence, but here's a study that shows confidence leads to overconfidence, right? And it can lead to bad decisions, right? So basically, the book leads out that winning leads to confidence. Confidence leads to arrogance. I don't think that's how you spell it. Confidence leads to arrogance, and arrogance leads to failure. Right. It doesn't have to happen like this, but this happens a lot. And the book goes into great detail about this. But what happens is when you somebody like Diddy, he's been winning for a long time, like winning really big, right? He started off as a producer. He produced for a 90s rap hip hop. They were the first hip hop band. They were the first. He produced for a group called Jodeci. They were like a boy R&B band, but they dressed like rappers. They started that whole shit. Like there'd be no Chris Brown without Jodeci. You feel me? And he used to produce records for them. Then he went on to produce hits records for R&B artist named Mary J. Blige. You may have heard of her. If you're black, your mama listens to her, you know. And then he founded Bad Boy Records, sold millions and millions of copies. You know, he had arguably the best rapper of all time, one of them, right? Notorious B.I.G. Then he came out and won as a solo artist, won Grammys. He produced big records for Mace, who went like double, triple platinum, and a bunch of other artists who did really well. He also founded, and then this success made him more confident, right? And he started branching out into other things, right? He started the Revolt, TV network, right? Which done well. He had alcohol brands that did extremely well, Ciroc and all the other shit. And one of his most notable accomplishments, I think, he doesn't get as much praise for it as I think he deserves, but he's probably one of the best in the world at reposting quotes. he Diddy, he saw one of my quotes, boom, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna repost that shit. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't get enough credit for that, but anyway, I say all to say, once he had all these accomplishments, and then he started quoting. Once he became a billionaire and he started quoting me, it's okay, take that out. Once he became a billionaire and he had all the success, right? The book goes into how success can fuck with your brain, right? And what it does is you start to believe things about yourself that aren't true, right? You start to, what happens is when you run the risk. How do I put this? You got to remember, your body has changed on a biological level, right? Every time you have a victory, your testosterone raises, dopamine raises, serotonin raises, and this becomes baseline. And then he just kept piling on victories. And the book goes into how you can become super arrogant when it happens, right? So I'm gonna read from the book. As individuals experience more success, they may begin to overestimate their abilities and knowledge. This inflated self-perception can lead to arrogance, where it feels like one is invincible or superior to others. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So I don't believe that Puffy, he had been out here choking bitches his whole life. He got to the point where he just started to feel invincible, right? And he had a track record of success. Staggering success, right? And you start to believe that you can do shit you can't do, and then what's really dangerous about success, and this is something you want to keep in mind as you ascend up the totem pole, right? As you become more successful in your life, the people around you become yes men. You get what I'm saying? And you end up in an echo chamber, where people, instead of giving you an honest opinion, they're going to tell you what you want to hear, right? And this will happen all the time, right? And you see this, he's not the only celebrity you see behave like this. It's just not all of them end up doing fucking Smash Bros moves on bitches in the hallway, right? You see it, someone like Kanye West, right? Staggering success, huge success, right? And he believes he's invincible. He goes on saying all types of crazy shit. And he's clearly around people who are, he clearly ended up in an echo chamber where people are telling him what he wants to hear as opposed to telling him what he needs to hear. You know what I'm saying? And anyone who speaks against him, he thinks that he just say they're a hater, they're trying to stop him or something like that. But it's like, hey, man, maybe you do need to chill, Kanye West, right? So I'm sure when, and if you read Cassie's report, if you read Cassie's lawsuit, right? She said that Puffy's managers and all the people around him were actually helping him do all these things, right? Covering up for him and taking and actually helping him do all these evil, devious things, right? That's what happens when you succeed, right? You got to prevent it. You got to watch that as you become more successful. You don't want yes men around you. You want everybody telling you something, because then you start to believe, when your confidence goes through the roof, especially if you have like Puff's level of success, right? Confidence through the roof leads you arrogance. And when you're that, if winning leads to confidence, confidence leads to arrogance, right? Imagine what winning building the biggest record label of all time, right? Building a successful liquor brand, building a TV network, and becoming one of like 20 black billionaires ever, right? Imagine what that would do to your confidence, right? And if confidence leads to arrogance, now you have someone who's incredibly arrogant, right? And he probably believed that. I mean, he clearly believed that he could do that shit and get away with it. According to Cassie's lawsuit, it seems it sounded like he was doing this shit for like 10 years to her, you know? And who knows what else he's done, right? Other people are coming forward, you know, and imagine you've been doing this and getting away with it, right? That's probably going to make you way more arrogant. And you really going to believe that, you know, you're invincible until you're not, until you find out that you've been living in this echo chamber and this everything you've been building around you was a facade, right? Everything comes out in the light, right? And you gotta, as you become more successful, it's something you really have to fight against, right? So instead of your confidence leading to arrogance, what you have to do is make sure if you don't want to end up like P Diddy, was a few things you have to do. But one, you have to you know what? Before I get into that, I'm gonna get into that in a minute. But you should definitely read the book, The Winner Effect, right? Because it's going to really help you, give you the actual what happens. It's going to show you what happens to your body biologically when you succeed. How that actually affects your mind in a positive and in a negative way, right? And I believe in many ways, Diddy was a victim of his own success. Now, I'm not saying everyone who's successful is going to start beating people up and shit. I'm definitely not saying that. He definitely got some issues that he needs to address. And, you know, I'm not trying to defend him in any way. I don't want to, please don't get that misconstrued. Right. But, but what you need to do is really understand how dangerous success is. So here's something I realized. Success is more dangerous than failure, right? A lot of people are afraid to fail. And I hear that a lot, you know, fear of failure stopping people from moving. But success is actually more dangerous, but people don't realize it, because success will have you overconfident in yourself. And the problem with that is now you have leverage and you can fuck your life up more when you're successful. For example, my father was poor when I was born. We was all broke. I grew up in the South Side of Chicago. Its reputation precedes itself. You know, one of my very first memories was mom walking me to preschool and us getting robbed on the way to preschool and fucking first thing in the morning and at gunpoint, right? And we were walking because we didn't have a car. My mom was going to walk me to preschool and jump on a bus, right? Now, check this out. My dad had his own business at the time. He lived with us. He had his own business, but he was just struggling, trying to make it happen. It hadn't been working. I got sent away to military school for high school because I got in some trouble. Nothing crazy, you know, fucking, you know, just fights, skipping school, shootouts, you know, normal Chicago shit. And I got sent away to military school. When I got sent away to military school, his business finally started to take off, right? And he started making money. Mind you, he had been broke the 16 years prior to that. And he'd been broke before that too, right? Before I was born. He finally started making some money, right? And it started to take off fast. And by the time I graduated from high school, he was making about $3 million a year. Adjusted for inflation, that would be $8 million in today's money, For real, this really happened. And I went to college right after that, right? So I didn't experience any of the wealth because I was going to military school, and then I went straight to college. So I didn't experience any of the wealth, but I knew it happened. But by the time I was done with college, he had lost all the money. He fucked it all up, right? And then he killed himself because then he killed himself. Why? He didn't have to kill himself because he lost all the money. What happened was he made shit even worse because he used the money to get leverage. So now he had a bunch of debt and a bunch of problems, and he dug himself in a deeper hole than he would have if he was just broke the whole time, right? And I'm sure that coming from those high highs back to being broke again is probably worse than never being successful at all. You know, it's probably worse because now you have the contrast, right? And I didn't experience any of the wealth, right? So by the time I was done with college and he killed himself, we was all back to square one, broke again, right? But I knew it happened. But I also knew what happened because my dad was like my best friend. And once he started making that money, what he started doing, he started gambling even more, right? He started, doing a bunch of other stuff I don't want to talk about, right? But he stopped doing the things that got him, that he stopped doing the things that led to his success. And I see this a lot. I see people become successful and they let it go to their head. They think they're the shit. They think they can't be stopped, and they start acting reckless as a result. You see this with like a lot of celebrities and shit of that nature, or even business people. I've seen it happen, and they become successful, and they kind of get high off their own supply a little bit, and they start being too risky. And what happens is now you can fuck your life up more because you have leverage. You got money, power, and influence, and you can actually fuck your life up more under those circumstances, right? And you're more likely to, because here's another study showing that power, not only does it increase testosterone, but it also makes you take more risk, right? So now you got leverage, you got money, power, success, and you can fuck your life up more, and you're going to take more risk now. You're going to be more risky. That's what my dad did. And I think that's what Puffy started doing. He started, I got all these fantasies now. Now I can live them all out. I can act fucking crazy. I can do all types of shit. Kanye West, he went on Drink Chaps. He was a billionaire. And he said, oh man, I can say anti-Semitic things and Adidas won't drop me. He believed that when he said it. Then Adidas dropped him like immediately, right? But he believed it, right? The success goes to your head, So the only way I know to circumvent this is the confidence can't come from yourself. The confidence has to be in your work ethic. Let me make that better. Right? Because if you start thinking you're the God or you're the man, or it's all because you're just so special, then that's how it's going to lead to arrogance. But what I always try to do is the confidence comes from my work ethic. And this does two things. One, it keeps you more grounded. So you don't go here, right? It keeps you more grounded, right? It's like, oh, it's not me. You put it here. Sorry. Put it on my screen for a second. I saw you would type it. I apologize. Put it on my screen. So this is how you don't go here, right? Okay. Sorry about that, Nima. It keeps you more grounded, right? So instead of me thinking it's about me, I'm the man, I'm fucking God, I'm this, I'm whatever. You say, no. It's the work. The work did it. Because I put in this work, it did it. And that's the truth as well, right? It's a work ethic. And then what that's going to do is it's going to make you want to work more, and then you'll win more. And you just keep doing it like this. You keep the cycle here. But if you make it about you, when you make it about you, that's when you start going to arrogance. I'm the man. I'm the shit. I can do all this. I mean, no. It's the work you put in. If you keep it there, it's going to keep you more grounded. I really believe that. That's what I try to do. So what I do is I associate the victory. It's not because I'm so special. It's because the things I do, if anyone did those things, they would succeed. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a primarily a fitness channel, I want to put it in words you can understand. If anyone works out almost every day for 25 years, tracks everything they eat in MyFitnessPal, keeps a scale around them to weigh their food, even at restaurants, weighs everything they eat, and make sure they hit their macros every day for decades, everybody's going to be in great shape. Literally every human being, each and every one of them. But if I start thinking, oh, it's because me, I'm the man. Well, what happens is my work ethic is going to slip, right? I'm going to fall out. I'm going to fall off. I'm going to think I'm the man, and that's going to lead to failure. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario is I'm going to think I'm a fucking god and I can do anything and treat people any way I want to because I'm so special. That's where you have Kanye West and P Diddy. All right. Go read that book, The Winner Effect. It's really going to help you understand this. So one more thing I want to touch on though. I don't want to victim blame, but I think there's another lesson here. When I used to be a rapper, right? I was signed to Sony Records. I got dropped when they merged with BMG, no big deal. And I knew a guy named Ryan Leslie, and he gave me some beats and I recorded over him, and it didn't work out when my deal went through with Sony, but I knew a guy named Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie discovered Cassie, and her whole first album, all the hit records she had, Ryan produced them. And Ryan was actually dating Cassie, but then she kind of switched sides, said, you know what? I want to fuck with the billionaire, right? And I'm not saying it's Cassie's fault. I don't want to get that misconstrued, but I think the lesson for you guys is the grass is not always greener. You know what I'm saying? The grass is not always greener. The grass is greener where you water it, you know? Again, I'm not blaming Cassie, right? You know, I wouldn't wish what she went through on anyone. I think there's a lesson to be taken from that as well, you know? You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lesson that you can take from that. She was dating Ryan. She was dating Ryan Leslie. All right. And then she said, you know, no, I want to be with this dude. She left Ryan after he discovered her, he discovered her, produced and recorded her whole first album, then brought her to Diddy, said, hey, you should put her on Bad Boy Records, because Ryan had already did some records for Bad Boy at the time. And Diddy was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna sign her. But we know how the story ended. I think the lesson is, guys, you know, the grass is not always green on the other side. Just keep that in mind. My heart goes out to Cassie and anyone who had to deal with what she has to do. So domestic violence is not cool. I want to go on record saying that. You know, I'm against it. You know, check out that book, The Winner Effect. I think I wish more people would read that. You know, one more example. Nima, I don't know how you're going to cut this up later. This may not be the order, and this story may not make it. But I had a friend, and he started building. I'm not going to say his name or anything, but he went from being broke to building a business that started doing over $5 million a month. And this happened in 1 year. He really came up from broke. Right. And, you know, again, we explained how winning affects your physiology and your psychology. Immediately after that, as soon as he starts making all this money, next thing you know, he's having sex with women all the time, fucking threesomes, flying around the country, having sex with different women, doing all sorts of crazy shit, you know, and and then he stopped doing the things that got him there, right? They got him to be successful. Next thing you know, he's getting sued. The business falls apart, bankruptcy. He went from $5 million a month to bankrupt. This motherfucker had to leave the country because not only was he bankrupt, he owed a lot of people money, and he just fucking left. He wasn't scamming. He just stopped. He just took his eye off the prize. He was too focused on like other shit. Remember, his testosterone were high, so now he's super horny. He's super different, and it might have fucked up his life more because now he's not even in America. Right. So just it's a cautionary tale. Right. Hey, read that book, The Winner Effect. I know for certain it's going to help you navigate your ascension to success. All right. Let me answer a few super chats if we got them.
We have Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Brandon, how much money do I need to test an ad campaign for a low ticket offer? What should my budget be, and how long should I run it for to know if it works?
There's a lot of variables that I don't know, so I'm gonna give you a broad answer. It's man, there's so many variables. You could test it. I want to say $10 a day. All right, that's well, okay. There's two ways to do it. I've seen two schools of thought. Right, I've seen some people do very low budgets. Right, very cautious, trying to see what works and then moving stuff around. I've seen some people throw like fucking thousands a day on it, right? Because they want to get as much data fast. They want to get a bunch of data immediately, right? It depends on where you're at, how much money you have, right? If you don't have a lot of money, then you want to test with a low budget, $10 a day. And how long you should run it, you know, that's difficult to say. That's difficult to say. You definitely want the data you get to be statistically relevant, right? Because if you get one person to hit your ad and go to your site and they don't buy, that's a 0% conversion rate. But the numbers are so low that it's not statistically relevant. So, you know, I think you should see how much it costs. You should run it. You should run it until you get someone to buy, until you start getting some people to buy. And then once some people buy, what happens is you'll see what your how much it costs you to acquire a customer, right? And then you start working backwards. But right now you don't know what your cost to acquire a customer is. You got to figure that out. It may be worth being more aggressive up front to figure that out and then optimizing based off that. It's difficult for me to tell you exactly what to do. There's no wrong way to do it. That's the thing. It's like what you're talking about is more art than science. I will say you got to find out what your lifetime value is a customer. You probably don't know that because you're just starting, right? But you got to find. But right now, you got to find out your cost to acquire a customer. That's the most important number you can get right now. And once you get that, then you can start working backwards. Yeah. I feel like I didn't answer your question. That's because there is no answer. It's like, how do you paint? How do I paint a dog? How do I draw a picture of a dog? Well, there's no wrong way to do it. You know, you know what I'm saying? It's got to have 4 legs, a tail. All right. What's up, man? Eric G.
We have Eric, Yo BBC, just turned 16 and began applying for jobs while also building my musical composition and guitar skills.
Nice.
Should I focus on stacking money now that I don't have bills, or focus on skills more? Both?
Well, don't focus on the guitar skills and music skills. Listen, bro. Music industry. Listen, that is a sinking ship, homie. There's still money to be made now, but that is a sinking ship. If you watch the beginning of this, man, you know how long it took me to come up with them, to make those songs? I don't even want to tell you. It's fucking frightening, right? But if you want to focus on skills to build your fucking build your business, you know, I mean, you can do both. You can do both. You can stack money and build skills that will make you some money. Music, do not, music needs to be a hobby. I'm telling you, man. 20 years, with AI and all this other shit, it's gonna be difficult for anyone to make money off music. But it's still, people are still gonna be playing music because they love it. They love to play music, but it's gonna be difficult to make a living off music in 20 years. Of that, I assure you. But yeah, do both is what I'm trying to say. But build a different skill. Yeah.
I'll let you read Mr. Frosty 300.
Mm-hmm.
Is selling puts at 10 less than delta good to avoid assigned?
Yeah. Listen, yo, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even look at the delta. I don't look at none of it. Greg can answer that question better than I can, but I don't even look at the delta, bro. I do it with technical analysis. So what I do is, let's say, I kind of try to figure out where I think the stock is going to go, right? So let's say I wanted to sell puts against this, right? If I did not want to get it signed, I would look for a spot where I felt like it had some fucking support. I would look for like a support area, and like right here, this looks like good. It bounced off his before. This was resistance, then it was support right here. Let me look further back. It was support like years ago. It was support right here too. All right, cool. That's exactly where I would sell support. I would sell puts that at around the 20, 24. Greg can help you more than that, right? We're gonna talk about this on the masterclass on tomorrow night. But I would sell puts like around here if I didn't want to get a sign, like maybe like 24.4. Right? That's where I would sell the puts for. So I don't even look at the data and delta. Greg does all that shit. It's really like all technical analysis for me when I do it. And then when I try to sell weekly, I sell weekly puts, and my goal is to make 1% every week. Right. But if you make 1% every week, that's 52%, and it compounds, right? All right.
Modern life dating.
Like a fire. No, yo, shout out to you, man. That's the homie MLD, man. Make sure y'all holler at him if y'all want to learn modern life. That's the homie. He'll show you how to get bitches and shit. He's good at that shit. That's the homie. He's a friend of the show. He's been on mad times. All right, guys. I ran out of steam, man. I got tired, man. Shout out to MLD. That's the homie. That's my nigga. All right, listen. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. Y'all, I legit ran out of steam. Time to go to sleep. It's been fun, y'all. Peace.